over 98% of candidates are rejected based on their resumes alone. And without a good resume, it's impossible to land your dream job. Over the past couple of years, I've reviewed hundreds of resumes and I've discovered what makes a resume special and stand out. So in this video, I'll share the art of building a resume that helps you land your dream job. Let's get started. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and another installment of our job hunt series. I am Raheel, and in this video, I'll share how to build a solid resume, one that helps you stand out. First, you have to remember that every recruiter spends very little time reading each resume. So your resume should be good enough to do its job within seconds. Let's start by understanding the structure of a successful resume. So, when you're creating a resume, you have to remember that simplicity is key. Don't use any personal images or fancy design because these elements do not enhance your resume's impact. Instead, focus on the quality. Focus on the quality of the content and make sure that you provide information that is relevant. You provide your impact and the work that you've done, because this is exactly what the recruiter is interested in. In short, your resume needs to have these 5 sections. Number 1, the heading. Number 2, your experience. Number 3, your education. Number 4, your accomplishments. And number 5, your skills. Now let's start with the heading section. The heading section is very simple, but we can make it even more effective. Your heading section needs to include your name, your contact information. Don't add your address. But now you have to add your website link or your portfolio link. Over 95% of the resumes that I've seen, no one adds their portfolio link or their website link. Now, if you have a portfolio or a website, add that information. You're automatically one step ahead from all the other applicants. And this minute little detail will help you stand out. Now let's dive into perhaps the most important part of your resume, your work experience. And this is the part that recruiters are extremely interested in. Now, remember, start your work experience section by sharing your most recent job position. Tell me what your position was, what was the name of the company, where was it based, and how long you worked there for. Then start telling me information about your job. Tell me for each bullet point, tell me what you did, why were you doing it, and what was the impact of what you did. Remember, you have to make it quantifiable. Tell me the impact that you've made on your job. Now, here's an example. On one hand, you have a candidate who says that I implemented a social media campaign on Facebook for my company, versus the second candidate who writes the same thing in a different way and tells me that I launched a paid lead generation campaign on Facebook for our new product line, bringing in over $100,000 in sales in just 14 days. Now contrast the 2 examples and decide for yourself, which person will you hire? Now, this format ensures that each entry in your work experience is meaningful and results oriented. It helps employees really quickly identify not just what you did, but why it mattered and how you contributed to your previous organization's success. Now, by structuring your achievements in this manner, you create a compelling narrative of your professional journey and demonstrate your value proposition as a candidate. Next, let's dive into the education section. Now, this section should be pretty straightforward and clear. Begin by listing your academic institution. Tell me your degree and the dates that you attended. If you have a high GPA, then you should definitely include it in there. Now, we have to make this section even better. So there are a couple of things that you can do. If you're a recent graduate, just make sure to put your education section on the top of your resume. Otherwise, just put it below your work experience. Secondly, you need to highlight your achievements in college. If you've been on the top of your class for a certain year, if you were on the dean's list or you won some notable award, then you have to mention it. Second, for tech roles, mention your projects, mention your certifications or any ongoing education that you are currently involved in. Finally, you have to mention your advanced coursework as well. If you've taken some special classes, mention them. If you've taken some special courses, mention them. If you've done some research, mention them. Impress the recruiter. Now, let's look at an example. Next up is your accomplishment section. Now, if you don't really have a lot of accomplishments, my suggestion to you would be to just completely remove this section. But if you've done some major work, then you should definitely showcase it. So start by mentioning your accomplishment. It might be winning the debates competition. It might be getting funding from a venture capital while you were in college, or being part of a specific program in which you got something out of it. Now, please don't mention your participation in a club or in an event as an accomplishment. These are truly unique to you and should signify something of importance. Now, here's an example that you can follow. Next up, we have one of the most important section of your resume, which is your skills section. Now, a lot of people abuse this section because at the end of the day, they put so many skills. And as a recruiter, I know that is not true. So it's not about the quantity of skills that you know, it's about the quality and the level of expertise you have in that specific skill. So I see a lot of people writing Microsoft Office. That doesn't mean anything. Instead, if you write expert in VBA macros in Microsoft Excel, that means a lot to me versus just writing Microsoft Office. Now, just remember that not all skills are important. You have to remember the job description. What exactly are the skills required to be successful in that job? Mention those because recruiters are skimming your skills to match the skills required in the job description. So make sure they're tailored. For technical skills, don't add high-level skills, but in fact, I would suggest go in depth. Tell the recruiter that you have specific knowledge and advanced knowledge of each skills that you're mentioning. Most importantly, if you're switching to a new industry, highlight transferable skills. Skills that are valuable in industry A and are also valuable in industry B. And finally, highlight your soft skills and leadership skills. It might be teamwork, it might be team management, project management, maybe you have a certification that you have done to showcase your proficiency, or you have some amazing communication skills. Maybe your negotiation skills are on top. Don't forget to mention them. But please don't overstate and don't use generic skills because they actually hurt you more than work in your favor. Now let's look at a good example of how it might look like. Okay, so here are some final tips that you must consider. Number one, tailor your resume to the job that you're applying for. This is extremely important. You have no idea how many resumes I get that do not match the job that we're hiring for, and that looks bad on the candidate, to be really honest. So don't make that mistake. Number two, use keywords. Read the job description and look at the keywords of what sort of people they're hiring for and optimize your resume based on the job description, because a lot of companies use ATS and the applicant tracking system has ability these days to just reject you if you don't match those keywords that the company is hiring for. So optimize for those. Then the third is keep it relevant, which basically means if you have any skills that are not relevant to the job, kick them out. Only use the ones that are relevant. And finally, do not lie. Be honest about the work that you've done, be honest about your education, and be honest about your skills. If you're the right fit for the job, automatically recruiters will see that. If you lie, trust me, recruiters have this sense after reading so many resumes. We can tell who's lying and who's not. So there you have it, guys. All the steps you need to build an effective resume. So let's just quickly recap. Keep your resume simple and use simple language to tell me the impact that you've made on the job. Add your portfolio link to stand out, and within your work experience, tell me what you did, why you did it, and the impact that you've created. The most important part, tell me about your education, mention your achievements, and mention your skills that are relevant for the job. If you do this, there's no chance that the recruiter will pass on to you. And just a quick refresher on one thing, which is tailoring your resume for each job description. I understand that you have to apply for a lot of jobs to get a job, but focus on the quality of the jobs that you're applying for versus quantity. You'll be surprised how effective focusing on quality is versus on quantity. Plus, it's less training on you versus just consistently applying for jobs and never hearing back from them. Finally, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like the content, share and subscribe. I've also included a free PDF of the template that I've shared during the video. If you want to download it, feel free to do so. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video.